What is up, guys? It is Thursday, June 6th. Okay, I can't believe it is June already. That is fucking insane. 2 weeks on the dot. 2 weeks until my wife and I pack up the rest of our shit and move to Las Vegas. So we are super stoked for that. I know what gym I am going to be going to when I'm out there, but I'm going to save that as a surprise for you guys because it's a fucking awesome facility. It is great. Super excited to train at it full time, so to speak, however you want to put it, every day. Really, really excited to get some training footage there, get in on the new machines because they are just phenomenal there, and start pushing up once I'm in Vegas, or I guess keep pushing up once I'm in Vegas. On the note of pushing up, everything is moving really, really well. Last week, I was 218.8 on my check-in day, which was actually a little heavy for the previous week's gain. I think I put on about 1.4 pounds last week. This week, sitting at 220 exactly. So 1.2 pounds up on the day, or I should say on the week, day over day. Week over week on the day. That's what I'm trying to say. I am 1.2 pounds up week over week on the day. And that is awesome. That is right about where I want to be. That 1 to like 1.2 range is pretty perfect for me. Honestly, I could probably push it a little closer to 1.5 at this point, but I'm staying lean. The weight is coming on. The training's feeling really good. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm really happy with how everything has been progressing. I mean, this offseason has just been fucking amazing. 13 weeks in, this is the week 13 check-in, and I am up 20 pounds. So super excited about that. We have about 10 more pounds that I'm going to be able to put on my frame before we need to pull back. So we're probably looking at me pulling back anywhere around 230, depending on how the rate of gain looks. That's probably going to be 8 to 12 more weeks from this point out. I know I said the same number last week, but we've only put on 1.2 pounds, so it's probably still going to be in that 8 to 12 week time frame. I would say probably right in the middle, about 10 weeks, which puts us, I think, at around middle to late August is where I'm going to start pulling back for probably 4 to 6 weeks. I would say, again, split the difference, probably about 5 weeks is all I will really need to lean out for the next phase of growth. I get lean really easily. I've stayed really lean this growth phase, and we're trying to put on as much mass as possible in as little time as possible. So we are just running it up with growth phases week after week after week. I should say season after season after season. You know, that's going to be, if we do end in 10 weeks here, that'll be about 23, 24-ish weeks of growth and about 4 to 6 weeks of diet. So every 30 weeks, completing a full growth phase from start to the start of another one. That's awesome. Super, super happy to be running that kind of a pace. Very, very happy with how my body has been responding across the course of this whole growth phase. I mean, it's just awesome. The weight has been coming on real easy. Training's feeling great. Super, super happy with that. Outside of my weight, my glucose was still a little bit higher than I like to see it, but down from last week. 93 was my blood glucose today. And I did have, again, a meal pretty late last night, later than I usually like to. So it could still be a little bit just residual from that. But at this point, probably within the next couple weeks, we will need to drop some more insulin in. You know, just maybe add another 5 IU of Lantus to the base. I'm at 10 currently. We might need to bump it up to 15 here soon, but feeling good. Not really facing any issues because of that so far. 1 or 2 glucose readings is not really as good of an indicator, or definitely not as good as an indicator as HbA1c readings from blood work. My A1c was a little high on my last blood work. Not out of range, but higher than we like to see it for bodybuilding purposes. So we did add more Lantus at that point, and also Humalog. We'll probably need to continue moving that up. For me, the first metric to really get skewed in an off season is my blood glucose. It's the first thing that really starts getting away from me, and usually I have to take the most action to control that. So that's no exception here. You know, there's nothing we're doing wrong. It's just how my body responds, right? We are, when I move to Vegas here in 2 weeks, going to be taking a 3 to 4 day deload. You know, I'm driving out there. We have pets, so flying them was an arm and a leg, so we're just going to drive them out instead. So with that deload, we'll also pull food back. So having 4 days or so with really reduced food volumes, kind of a rest day food intake, and not really pushing things as hard, that might drop off a little bit. We're not really using it for that purpose. I need a deload anyway, but I'll get to that in a minute. But it might have an improvement on that glucose level as well. Blood pressure this week was 131/73, so up a little bit from last week on the systolic, up from 125 to 131. Diastolic was down from 78 to 73, so kind of just traded it off like 5 points on either side there. Not really at a concerning level yet. Remember, I am still only on 40 milligrams of telmisartan. That is my only blood pressure medication in place right now. We can take that up to 80 if we need to. We can add in co-therapy with amlodipine. There's a lot of things we can do. And right now we're not really at a point where we need to address it yet. We might not even need to for the rest of this growth phase. I think maybe in 2 or 3 more weeks here, we'll probably start seeing it get to a point where I have to bump up to 80 of the telmisartan. But for now, we're fine. So that is good as well. I did notice this week, I said I will have a deload when moving to Vegas. I did notice I'm probably in need of one. Last week was the last week for doing my dumbbell bench. We swapped it out for a flat hammer strength machine just because I was getting up to using like the 130s, 135s with the dumbbells. And at the gym I'm at currently, it's like these really fucking ancient ones with these giant bolts on the end that are like impossible to get up on your own. I mean, it just takes away half of the effort I would normally put into the movement just getting the dumbbells into place. So we decided to switch it for the flat hammer strength machine. I think that's been a great decision. Really liked that machine this week. But as part of that and part of that decision, we also noticed that my performance was slightly dropping off in the dumbbell bench, and it has also dropped off a little bit in my hack squat. Those are 2 of my higher fatigue movements for the week, especially my hack squat. So we've noticed that, rather I've noticed, that within my training sessions, my fatigue seems to be a little higher. I'm not reaching the same level of stimulus. I'm still recovering fine day over day. I don't feel any issues day to day. But within that span of that session, it's a little bit more fatigue. So we've been running for about 20 weeks now, probably even a couple longer than that, with no deload. So it's probably getting to the point where I just need to take a couple extra rest days. I've explained it before, I think, but my deloads aren't this weird, like, go into the gym and load 80% on the bar and then do 3 RPE and only go 4 out of the 5 days that week. And then the next week, add in 10%, and like, it's not this fucking weird. It's not hard. You know what I do for a deload? Well, I'm going to be moving on a Thursday, which is normally, today, my rest day anyway. So instead of going back to the gym on Friday and Saturday, I'm just gonna take Friday, Saturday off. So I'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Just a couple extra days in a row. Boom, deload's fucking done. And then I'm back to it when we get to Vegas. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate your shit. You don't need to do this weird, crazy deload schedule. You don't need to deload once every 12 fucking weeks. Do it when your body needs it and when you recognize the signs that you need it. And don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. You need rest. That's why I'm saying I hate this idea of going into the gym and only doing 80% effort or some stupid bullshit. When I go into the gym, I am going to go into the gym and fucking kill myself. I am going to go in and go as hard as I can every fucking time. So if I step foot in that gym and you tell me, do an RPE of 6, do 80% of the load, I'm gonna look at you like a fucking crazy person and say, yeah, fuck you, and just do what I would normally do. So it's better for me to just take a couple extra days off, let my body recover, give myself a little bit of a break, and then hit everything fresh and pick right up where we left off. It's honestly that simple. So that's what we're going to be doing on my trip to Vegas, on my drive out there. I'm going to have 2 days of driving, 3 really, and then 1 day when we get to Vegas to just kind of get ourselves situated, kind of mellow out, have a day to relax and get some stuff in the area done that we need to get done with our home, and then that next day, sign up at the new gym and go. And that's just kind of the plan for now. Might need an extra day or 2 in there depending on how planning works out, but I think that is going to be perfect. And I'm really looking forward to that because my body does need it. So having a few extra days to just kind of take some fatigue off is going to be really beneficial. And after that, we'll just keep pushing things as hard as possible. Right now, again, feeling very, very good, but let's hop into some pictures to kind of show you guys this week's progress. Like last week, I'm going to be a little quicker to go through my pictures than I have been in the past, just because you guys are seeing the same shit week over week now. You kind of know what you're looking at in the same way that I do, so I don't need to detail everything out. We're going to skip relaxed poses again this week. The only thing I will say about this week that is different from past weeks is I switched up the area in my bathroom. I was taking photos so that I could set up a mirror and see myself. And also because the lighting was a little bit better. I know it's like no solid backdrop. My backdrop is like a completely messy, half packed to move across the country closet. So mind that, but the lighting's a lot better. So I think that these poses are actually pretty solid this week. We're gonna start here with my front lat spread. Front lat spread looked pretty good this week, but I noticed an issue with my front and rear poses this week because of the new positioning in the bathroom. I think I was hesitant on bringing my arms out because I was like almost going to hit the shower. And I wouldn't have if I brought them out more, but I think I just could have been a little wider here. Regardless, this looks really solid. I mean, again, condition's good. My legs look fucking insane this week for some reason. Not really sure why. Usually they're a little bit washed out, and even here they kind of are just because yesterday was my leg day, and so there's a lot of inflammation there. But yeah, looking really good, really happy with this shot. Nothing else to say about it. Next shot is gonna be my back double bicep. Pretty happy with this. I definitely like the look of kicking my left leg back instead of my right leg, but I still really need to improve kind of my torso positioning here. I feel that I may need to just bring my arms up a little more here to kind of flare the lats out more rather than trying to crunch down on them and engage the lats so much. But overall, still pretty happy with it. Condition from the back is looking really good and holding. This was my most disappointing shot this week. It's been my best shot in the last few weeks, but I was not so happy with my back lat spread this week because of that issue. You know, you'll see how tight I'm bringing in my arms, almost like I'm flexing my chest rather than bringing my lats around. And that was just because of my position in the bathroom. Again, getting used to where I'm standing, just trying to fit in my space. So next week, that won't be an issue, but still, again, condition's good. And I like the look of kicking the left leg back versus that right leg, which I was doing last week. So I think we're going to stick with the left leg back, the right leg forward. It just looks better in my opinion. I just need to clean up how much space I'm taking up in this shot for next week. On that note as well, I will say once I'm in Vegas, it's going to be really nice because I'm going to have a whole space that I can set aside as a posing room, light boxes, black backdrop, tape everything off, dedicated tripod, a whole space where everything is the same week over week, which is exactly what I need. All right, and front double. This was actually one of my favorite shots for today. I was super happy with how this looked. I'm like, wait, shit, I actually look like I have arms in this picture. So this looked really good. I was really happy with this. Condition here looks awesome as well. I mean, my legs are looking great here. Really holding good conditioning throughout my core and the upper body as well. Everything is really, really good. I mean, again, for 13 weeks in, I could not be happier with how well my condition is holding. This has been awesome so far. The only thing I need to fix in this pose is arm positioning. You'll notice with my left arm, I'm not rotating through the shoulder enough. I do it on the right side where I rotate through. On the left side, I tend to just kind of be lazy, and I need to push through more and drive that lat forward a little bit more in order to actually get that lat to pop and look better in this shot. But overall, really still happy with this. This is probably my best front double I've had in a long time, probably even this whole off-season phase. Most muscular, always one of my favorite shots. This week is no exception. This was really solid this week. Super, super happy with this. I feel like my triceps have come up a little bit and it's helping this shot a lot from the arm side of things. Still looking very lean. Condition is holding. Everything looks really good here. This was a great shot this week. I have nothing to correct or say here. This is awesome. Side chest this week. I was really making a conscious effort to get my hamstring to look pretty presentable here and also just kind of figure out my leg positioning. I think I got that well. I tucked my arm a little bit more than I usually do on that, that rear shoulder, that rear arm in the shot, and I feel like that looks pretty good. I think I need to maybe play with keeping my front-facing arm a little bit closer to the front of my body rather than dropping it back with my lat, and then just rotating the back arm through and then bringing the whole torso across rather than doing this. I think I'm trying to pull with my front elbow and rotate myself around when I just need to push with my rear shoulder to rotate myself around, if that makes sense. Regardless, pretty happy with this. I mean, Night and day difference between how this shot looked when I started this growth phase, or when I started dieting to go into this growth phase, honestly, and now. Hamstrings have come up a ton, super happy with it. Side tricep, this was kind of one of my test poses for the week. As you guys know from my last check-in, I said I don't really like hitting it from this left side, but I'm trying to get myself to a point where it looks good from this left side because I feel like I present myself a lot better from this side than from the other side, just as a holistic picture, right? I think my abs are much, much worse from this side for some reason, but I think everything else about the shot looks better from this side. So I'm trying to play with how my waist control looks on this side. It might honestly just be that I'm not that lean right now. You know, I'm lean, but I'm not show lean. I'm in an off season still, right? So this is something I want to work on, but I did like hitting it from the side. I was actually able to lock my arm out pretty decently today. So I am relatively happy with this, despite it looking all right at best. Ab and thigh this week, a little more washed out than it has been in previous weeks. I think part of that is just because the way I'm hitting this, I'm actually hitting it away from this light source on the other side of me. So it kind of casts a shadow across my abs, whereas in my previous weeks, you know, I have this overhead light that hits it directly, but my leg looks fucking insane here. Super happy with this overall. Again, condition's great, really happy with this. I mean, for being up 20 pounds from the start point and only 13 weeks in, I could not be happier with where condition is at this point. Super, super, super happy with that. And that's going to be it for the poses for this week, guys. Like I said, pretty quick rundown. Has been an awesome week for me. I am looking forward to banging out the next couple of weeks until the move. And then honestly, you have no idea how excited I am to hit this new facility out in Vegas. I am super hyped to get my hands on some brand new, awesome, top of the line, state of the art equipment. Super, super excited for that. Super excited to get you guys some training footage from this new facility. And if you want to find out what it is, then in 2 weeks, give or take a couple days, can't promise an exact date, I will have some training footage from the new facility. On that note, guys, that is all I've got for this week. If you like this content, if you like keeping up with me, if you like watching my training content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below anything else you want to see. And until next time, guys, take it easy.